What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys Xavier and Nicholas. Guys, today we're going to continue our series. We're going to cover two different weight classes. Last time we did 170 and 185. Today we're doing the big boy weight classes in honor of John Jones Fight Month. We're doing heavyweight and light heavyweight. John Jones was the former king, all-time great at light heavyweight. Now he's the heavyweight champ. So guess kind of a John Jones themed episode. Where do you guys want to start? Heavyweight or light heavyweight? They're both pretty iffy divisions. What do you guys want to start at?
I feel like heavyweight, we can go light heavyweight first just because I feel like heavyweight has a little bit more to talk about right now. Based on Pereira just basically fighting him like a couple months ago.
Yeah, so here are the rankings for light heavyweights. You know, the champ just fought, obviously defended it against number six. Yuri hasn't fought since the loss. We got Rakic just lost to Ankalaev. Obviously, Ankalaev versus Pereira is next. What are some standout names for you guys at this division, or the biggest storylines you guys see here? Besides Pereira and Ankalaev. We'll talk about that later.
Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree confirmed or no? Is that not a thing?
I don't know if it's confirmed. I don't think so.
I mean that would make sense. Like Khalil Rountree like fucked up right now. Yeah, he needs to heal up for sure. I would say, does Jamal Hill have a fight right now booked?
No.
Okay, cool. I mean, I would say Jamal Hill's yappery is a storyline.
That's true.
Uh, Ever since Pereira has starched him, like granted, under some less than credible circumstances, maybe a couple hops, what I'm saying, Herb Dean in the Pereira hops forward. I mean it gives like a slight little bit of rationale that like Jamal Hill could, using that to argue that he was kind of robbed and their fight. So since then, this man's been yapping, bro, and he's been yapping at everyone who would listen, critiquing Pereira's fights, saying that Pereira wouldn't beat him fighting like how he fought against Khalil Rountree, all that. So it's like one storyline for me in the division is like, when is he gonna get in there and prove some shit, man? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of want to see Jamal Hill get back in there and mix it up with somebody and kind of like lend himself some credibility to his claims.
Yeah, because if he were to come back and get a vicious knockout over like a year or something, that'd be huge for him. But man, if he loses the next fight and it's not against Pereira, he's gonna get clowned so hard on social media.
And like, quite honestly, I like there's some people I could see beating him. Like, I would say that like the top six in this division, I'm not the biggest Krylov believer, but like outside of Krylov, like Roundtree, Rockage, Jan, and Yuri and Ankalaev, I feel like a lot like they have a very live chance to beat Jamal Hill. Like I would not like think that Jamal Hill washes basically any of them, to be honest. Even though like he might win, but I mean I feel like all of these guys like six and up have a chance to at least compete with Jamal Hill in there. So it's not like he's shown some type of like superior dominance to like back the claims that he makes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What
So
about you, Nick? Any fights you want to see? Any storylines here? What do you think?
I think Azmat Mirzakhanov, he's an off. Doesn't wrestle though, but he's a little kind of like he'll look like a Calvin Gastelum type, but some actual good kickboxing in there. Throws some powerful hands. He's got a fight versus Krylov, I think, pretty soon. I don't know when that is, but I think that's an interesting fight. He's a good contender, undefeated. So I'm interested in that fight. Everyone else,
I
everyone
would
else,
say Carlos Ulberg too. Carlos Ulberg is kind of legit,
Yeah,
man.
he was yeah.
if
I feel
Owen
like
were to fight like Blachowicz, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Blachowicz, man, like I know he's old, but man, future champ, he gave Ankalaev arguably his toughest fight. Gave Pereira a really tough fight in a split decision. He's been out for a while for injury. I would love to see Blachowicz back in the mix. I think he still has it. We were talking earlier. Age doesn't matter as much in these heavier weight classes. I think Jan's still a threat to a lot of people. But yeah, I think like out of all these names, I'm liking Olberg. I want to see like a nice little run from Olberg to get into that top five, maybe a title shot. Are there any names, guys, that we see like stocks are going down on these fighters in light heavyweight division in the top 15? Any stock droppers here?
I mean, why is Anthony Smith in there? Like,
Isn't he fighting Dominic Reyes on the John Jones card? Yeah, he is. No, he's fighting him December 7th.
oh,
Dude,
So that
in the rankings, Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes are both listed as 12. There's no 13. I don't know if that's like a typo or what, but both of these guys are like even to me at
Hey
this
man,
point.
December 7th, the battle for the 12th spot in the light heavyweight division. Two former John Jones challengers, two goats of the sport, Reyes and Smith. That'll be huge for the division. But okay, let's talk about the title
Who's
picture
the
a
real
little.
number?
What's up?
Who's the real number 12? I said, who do you think's the real number 12? I would
You know,
say I
I'm
would
gonna go
favor
Dominic Reyes,
Reyes.
baby.
I know who Reyes.
I'm never betting on Smith
I have,
again.
yeah, no, he's done. He's done, bro. Like he needs to retire and get on the desk, man, at this point.
And Reyes had a pretty impressive last performance.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah, he pieced Jacoby, even though he was in trouble until he got the knockout.
yeah,
I still think that his chin is a little, I don't want to say gone, but it's definitely been clipped a few times by now. And like, I don't know, he's on chin watch for me. He's on chin watch.
oh for sure.
But it's
He's
Anthony.
talented, but he's definitely on chin watch.
Yeah, but it's Anthony Smith.
True.
Anthony Anthony Lion Cup Smith, man, he ain't beating nobody in the top anymore.
All right,
I
let's
think
move.
Alonso could beat him, and that's saying a lot. Why is Alonso if bro? If Alonso Menifield is ranked in your division, it's problems, bro. Like it's not deep division at that point.
Um, wait, so hold up. Something's like wrong with your camera, Xavier.
Right now,
Yeah, it's like delayed. Like you'll talk and then your mouth won't move.
what the fuck?
Do you notice
There's,
that, Clark?
Yeah, yeah.
And you were like freezing a little.
yeah, it was freezing for me as well. Like when you guys were talking some way, it was kind of like chopping in and out. But right now, is it fluid right now or
Yeah,
no?
right now it looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. What I was saying is that any division where Alonzo Menifield is ranked is a problem. Like that just shows a lack of depth in the light heavyweight division for sure. But the fact that Anthony Smith's still ranked, like he would be a cannon fodder in any other division, you know? But in this division, he's like two fights out of a title shot or some shit, you know? Like I don't even know, bro.
All right, let's talk about the title picture really quickly. Obviously, it's got to be Ankalaev versus Pereira next. Um, let's just say that fight plays out. Whoever wins, who do you guys see getting the next title shot at this division? No matter
I
who wins, like who are we looking at here?
I think it depends on who wins, because I think that because Pereira has largely cleaned up the division, um, if a new blood like Ankalaev were to win, I think that a lot of these guys that haven't fought him recently, like a Jamal Hill, depending on like if they don't give Alex an immediate rematch, worried to lose, but I could see like a Jamal Hill having like a claim to fight Ankalaev, or Khalil Roundtree might be in that mix. Just like, whenever there's a new champ, then like people who recently got defeated can, reinvigorate themselves and be like one fight away from, you know, a title shot at that point.
That's true.
So I think that it matters about who wins. If Alex wins, though, again, I genuinely just don't know where we go. Unless Rockage at that point can like pick up a win over maybe like a Jan or like a Yuri, maybe, but they just fall. Maybe like, yeah, probably like a Jan or a Rockage. Like, I don't know, Khalil Rountree. I just feel like anyone could really be like one fight away if Ankalaev wins, but like if Pereira wins, then they're gonna have to like scrape like to the outskirts of the top 10 for a contender, you know? In that case, maybe Ulberg with an impressive win over Ozdemir might get the next title shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah,
running out of contenders from credible contenders.
no, definitely. What do you think, Clark?
Yeah, I was gonna say if Mirzakhanov maybe beats Krylov, I don't know if they give it to him, but
Definitely.
if he like finished him as well, like I could see him maybe getting that.
I mean, think about Roundtree got a title shot off of beating Anthony Smith. So anything is possible in this
Yeah,
division.
yeah. I mean, it's just light heavyweight land, I guess. But
They're
let's
just
move on. Oh, what's it? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that they're just starved for contenders in this division.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal. It used to be so much better. But let's move up, guys. The heavyweight.
Ooh.
In 2 weeks, we got John Jones making his return against Stipe, also making his return. People are very, very down on that main event. Obviously, people want Tom Aspinall. Everyone wants Tom Aspinall in there. Is this John Jones Stipe fight getting the hate it deserves, or are people being out of pocket?
It doesn't matter what the people want. Fuck the people, bro. John Jones gonna get in here, whoop some ass, and retire, run away, ride off into the sunset like the cowboy he is. Get his loss turned into a fucking like get that loss expunged from its record post facto and just retire like undefeated, man. Like that's the vision I'm seeing, bro. That's the path I want for John Jones. Selfishly as a fan. I think there is a good chance that he sticks around for the Aspinall fight. Depending on how he looks and feels in there. If he goes in there, it looks better than ever. Has clearly adjusted to the weight a lot more. I've noticed that like in training videos and all that, he has like heavyweight abs now, which he had like a bit of a donut belly going into the Cyril fight. So I think that the more time he trains and gets used to his heavyweight frame. He could look really good in there. I think that yeah, there is a chance that he comes out like dominates Stipe and then feels confident going forward to fighting Aspinall. But I do think that like the only way we get the Aspinall John fight is if he runs over Stipe. If Stipe makes this competitive, I think that John would be like, "Damn, if I'm competitive with a fucking old ass Stipe, then like I just need to get out of there before the sport catches up to me here." So I think that like how the fight plays out with Stipe goes a long way in determining like whether we ever get the Aspinall John fight.
Okay, so you're saying before that fight happens, John Jones has not decided definitively if he is going to retire or not.
I think he's putting it out there that he's going to retire because one, I think it's a money play for the from him. Obviously, he's no stranger to those money plays. I think that threatening the retirement is going to make the fans clamor, which it already is. Like, and the fight's not this fight hasn't even passed yet, and the fans are already clamoring for the Aspinall fight. And then like I feel like by him like instead of like imagine if John Jones said like yeah after this I'll fight Aspinall, the fight loses a lot of the luster. We already like know what to expect.
It's
You
true.
know what I mean? Like the UFC gonna like they don't need to up the ante at all to like feel like they have to coax him out of retirement talks. I think that once these fighters like think about like even Khabib like the UFC tried to throw a fucking bag at him to fight McGregor the second time, or to get him to keep fighting. Like they kept trying to throw a bag at him. Like seemingly every time that like Dana and him would like cross paths, maybe he's cornering Islam, whatever, whatever. Dana's like talking to him post fight interview. Like, yeah, I've been talking to Khabib, trying to get him to come back. Who knows? But right now he's saying no. I just think that John Jones is a smart guy at this point in his career, and he knows how to drum up interest from the UFC and the fans. So there's a part of me that thinks that like it's a ploy for, money, obviously. But also I think that John Jones is one of those people that I think would rather get out of the game before the game like gets out of him. You know what I mean? Um And I think that based on how you feel, like think about a lot of these fighters who are like planning on retiring and then they get in there, they feel great, and they're like, man, I still feel great. I always thought I'd retire by 35, but I still feel good, so I'm gonna keep going. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like if he gets in there, feels great, looks amazing, then it's like, how can you not fight Aspinall? But if you're struggling a little bit and we're like, ooh, John looking a little slower, you know what I mean? Maybe these injuries have caught up to him a little bit. Then I think that he might himself be like, yeah, let me just retire. I've been saying it anyway. It's not like people can. It's not like it would come out of nowhere were he to retire. He's been saying it all along, you know? So, I mean, he would like lose no real credibility in my mind by retiring if the Stipe fight's a little hard, but I do think that like that is what it is dependent on. Like how he just feels and looks in there. So tell Stipe to fucking take a dive, y'all, if you want fucking to see the Aspinall fight.
Well, I'll say this: the UFC made it clear by that ranking. They just put him at 8,
I
ran.
just yeah, that's so funny.
They put who at 8?
Stipe. They just like randomly like why would they just not keep him at 1 or 2?
I mean, how could you, bro?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's
Like,
already a shameless fight.
man, let me just say,
It's not shameless, bro. I think that
it's
like it makes a lot of sense. The fact that it's taken this long is the shameless part about it, you know?
of course, but it's just like this man coming in here, what, 4 or 5 years off? I don't know how long, maybe less,
I think it's
but
been about 4.
I just
His last fight was March 2021.
okay.
So we're getting there. We're getting to 4 for sure.
Yeah, but there's just no way this man's been training that hard for this. I don't see it.
Hey man,
Like,
he's been fighting fighters, bro. If you can
He said,
fight
yeah.
fighters, you can fight men.
I guess, man. I guess like if John Jones off a how many year layoff goes in, whoops Gonzalez, and I get it, God not the best wrestler, Stipe much better there, but he's 65. Like, ruined here. Like, he's not winning this fight. He's getting ran through. Like,
No
I'm fine
did.
with the fight being made because it's, a legendary fight. Best heavyweight ever, best light heavyweight ever. It makes sense. Do I think John Jones fights after that? Probably not. I think he retires personally.
As he deserves. As he
I
does.
think he'd personally be running from Aspinall, but that's okay. It's all good.
Doubt it.
I got I this will for sure be John Jones' hardest fight at heavyweight. Obviously, it's only his second, but I I don't think it'll be as one-sided as people think. I definitely have John Jones winning, obviously, but I mean, dude, it's not going to be as easy as the Cyril Gahn fight. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I feel like that's a low bar, but
It'll
you're
last 3 minutes. Okay. Okay.
No, I think it'll be like more competitive than people think.
Oh,
I think it goes like at least 2 rounds.
Yeah, like I think John Jones is going to knock Stipe out. I think.
That would be
I
insane.
think he's going to get like one of those like crazy performances.
Like a
What's
spinning elbow. If he spinning elbows him, bro, kills him, kill shot, boom.
So I don't see him. I don't think he's going to submit Stipe.
There's a DX chop. Fucking points at fucking Tom Aspinall. Like, you will never get this fight, boy.
But I do think he stays the fight, Tom Aspinall. I think he's playing this all. He's playing the media. He's built like you said. He's building it up. His this current fight also. He's kind of no selling Aspinall. He's building the fight. This guy knows how to promote himself. I think he's gonna take the fight, and he got a little too greedy and lose the Tom Aspinall. I'm just saying.
That's the problem, right? Because like if he does like stick around and loses to Aspinall, are we all gonna sit here and pretend like he's not old and like you know what I'm saying? I feel like that would be the narrative, at least perpetuated by me and many other John Jones sympathizers. Where it's like, okay, if you stay around the game long enough, like the game will catch up to you eventually, no matter how good you are. And that is just what I would rather avoid, quite frankly. I just wouldn't want Aspinall to have that feather in his cap. I think that Aspinall can go on to establish a heavyweight legacy of his own, like without John Jones. And I think that no one will ever really question like him or John Jones at that point. Everyone it will always be a what if, but like there's a lot of what ifs, bro. What about Rumble Johnson, John Jones? Like what about fucking Khabib fucking Oliveira? Like, there's it's a what if there, but we move on, you know what I mean? The sport moves on, so it's
Now,
like
Xavier, would you be saying the same thing if instead of Aspinall, that next opponent was, say, Alex Pereira?
no, no, I'm saying get in there and get that name on the pole, you know what I mean? But they're also similar aged. They're like literally both 37, I believe. So it's
So,
like
so you're saying John Jones should stay for Pereira, but he shouldn't stay to fight Aspinall.
yes, I
Yeah, okay,
agree.
no, I would agree. He definitely has a better chance of beating Pereira.
I think they also raises his stock in the eyes of like the casuals a
It's a
lot
bigger
more.
fight for sure.
And I think that like that was also his point. He was saying like, who is Aspinall? Like, what has he really done in the sport to like justify this? Where it's like, which is true. Like we know as hardcores and like fans of the sport for real that he's legit knocked out Pavlovich. But like do casuals even know Pavlovich? No. But like casuals all know the biggest star in the UFC at the current moment, Alex P. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an easier fight for him, and it's like a lower risk, higher reward. So like, why would he not take that?
It's literally, I mean, off the top of my head, probably the second biggest fight of all time besides Conor and Habib. Would the UFC pass up on Aspinall, who obviously deserves it in the fans of all the hardcore fans' eyes, for literally a top five biggest fight of all time with Pereira and Jones? Which fight do you think the UFC is going to make if John Jones stays after this?
I think, quite frankly, like it'll be a slap in the fucking face to Aspinall and the concept of an interim title if they passed him up. And I think that that might, be the only reason that they would rather make the Aspinall fight. But I mean, like from a business perspective, if he didn't have this dumb interim title, I think that they would completely skip over him.
Facts. And where were we? We were talking about which fight is next. I think you were talking, Xavier.
Um,
Or
I
should
feel
you
like
want me to just start a new point?
I feel like I finished a thought, but we were talking about like
I'm
the
gonna,
last thing I said wasn't the last thing I said that like fighting Alex had like he has more to gain for lesser of a risk. I think that's where we left
you
off.
said like he has to fight Aspinall. It'd be like a disgrace to the interim belt.
Yeah, I just mean like yeah, I think the last thing I said was like without that interim title, I have no doubt that they would like skip over him. But like right now, with him holding that interim title, like I just don't see how you could get away with like skipping
Yeah.
over him.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. But with the whole John Jones thing, let's move to the rest of the division. Pretty man, it's kind of a iffy ass division. I'll just be honest, man. Like guys like surging guys like Pavlovich and Almeida, who we thought might be title challengers, kind of got fraud checked, exposed a little bit. But how are you guys seeing the rest of the landscape of this division?
I mean, I think that you have like different pockets in this division, the way I look at it. Like, there's pockets of people that are bad matchups for others. Like, if you remove Aspinall from the mix, like, it's kind of like more so specialists in the divisions where it's like, okay, Curtis Blades, wrestling specialist. Like, I think it's like MMA rock, paper, scissors kind of situation, right? I think that Cyril Gahn can outstrike all of the strikers, damn near everyone else in the division, honestly. I think he could just outstrike and beat on the feet anyone else that is going to strike with him. I think Jailton Almeida, like, if he were to fight Cyril Gahn, like, he's probably going to take him down and sub him up, right? But I think that if you put Almeida against like a Curtis Blades, we saw what happened with that when he just couldn't get the takedown at will. We see that Almeida's really like kind of dicey on the feet and his cardio a little dicey, right? I think that Pavlovich, even though he looked like dog shit in his last fight, like I feel like he can knock out a lot of people still in this division. And I think that taking him down, if you're not like a Aspinall or a John Jones or a Almeida, who's gonna really take him down? So I think that he can have a good chance against most people on the feet outside of probably Cyril Gahn and obviously Volkov. I think that Cyril Gahn will outstrike Volkov on the feet, right? So it's just kind of like everyone has like another person in the rankings that is kind of their kryptonite. I think that my boy Curtis Blake will probably wrestle fuck Cyril Gahn and beat him up on the ground, maybe get him out of there. Like, so it's just kind of like it'll be like a musical chairs if not for Aspinall and John Jones like giving this division some clarity.
It's kind of sad to think like, okay, let's say John Jones beats Stipe and Aspinall. He just sticked around. There is no one here that like I feel
Down
like fans would be interested in,
exactly.
which kind of sucks. What do you think about the landscape, Clark? And maybe some like guys that you could see challenging for the belt, no matter the outcome of who has it.
No one below. This is a very top heavy division, to be honest. I like there's just no youth really at all,
At all.
except
Aspinall. That's it, bro.
like Cortez, like these new 14, 15 rankings, but like besides them, these are all fighters who've kind of had their time and are worn out fighters, damn near.
I fuck with Salsa Boy, but he ain't beating no one in the fucking top five, bro.
Like
He,
maybe if Derek Lewis somehow made like a miraculous comeback, I could see it low key, just some crazy comeback. But nah, no one below really. It's very top heavy. I could see Almeida pulling shit off though. He just needs. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, he made one poor decision of keeping his head like in a terrible spot. And that was about it. Like, besides that, he's been hooping on everyone, getting them out of there. The Derrick Lewis fight was weird, but he still dominated that fight. He's like the one contender I can see.
making
Like,
some noise.
yeah, but like, needs to work on the feet a little. I just haven't seen that part of his
And
game
the
at all.
cardio, man. And the cardio.
Is it bad though, the cardio?
I think it is. I think that if you can stuff a few takedowns, like if you get out of the first round and you can stuff a few takedowns, because even in the Derek Lewis fight, and that's first of all, this is Derek Lewis who has like traditionally like -2 defensive wrestling, right? Like I feel like he even stuffed a couple takedowns in that fight, and like when Almeida was like forced to be on the feet with him, like when he got like a couple takedown stuff, it would be like okay, Derek Lewis has a real shot here. He's starting to gas out, but then eventually you shoot that takedown, and Derek Lewis is clumsy as like he fell down, and then that would be the round, right? Um, and I just think that like it's not that hard to have better takedown defense than Derek Lewis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like if you can extend him into round two, three, like it's bad news bears for him, I think.
Was he that tired though?
I mean, he was struggling to get Lewis down, and like that was a 5 round fight. But the thing is that like in that fight, he had no adversity. Like he never had any adversity. If we know anything like about MMA, it's when you're forced to fight in uncomfortable positions that gasses you out more. So if you're a grappler, sometimes if you get stuck on the feet for a round, you can gas out.
Yeah.
Because you're panicked, you're stressed, like all of that. He literally was on top of, he was like literally sitting in full mount on Derek Lewis for what seemed like 5 fucking rounds and still huffing and puffing, bro.
Yeah, I'd love
Expending
to see.
expending like the lowest amount of ground and pound energy at like completely like doing really barely anything but getting the top mount every time. And he still was like huffing and puffing. So yeah.
Yeah, I was really high on him. I liked his game a lot. But this might be a long shot, but I would just love to see like a comeback from Sergey Pavlovich. Just come back like more well-rounded because he was so fun to watch. Just like a giant Russian dude knocking people the fuck out. I would love to see him come back a little more well-rounded, get a few dubs, maybe challenge for the belt again. But yeah, this division is so terrible and old. It kind of sucks. There's no like prospects. There are no prospects
Like Volkov at 3 is crazy. Like why is Volkov 3 right now? Like why?
because he
Because
somehow beat Pavlovich,
only
man.
three because Pavlovich is a one-trick pony, bro. And but I think that that one trick beats like most people in the division, right? The only people I see that like could beat Pavlovich, probably like I'm not even gonna lie to you, like I thought Curtis Blades could beat him, but clearly he just decided to do what Curtis Blades does sometimes and just unnecessarily stand there in front of his opponents. Like I love you, Razor Blades, but stop that shit.
Well, they fought. No.
No, that's my point. I'm saying like I think he could beat him stylistically, but he just chooses to stand in front of these strikers and like I don't know if it's to prove a point or what, but it's just piss poor game planning in my mind, but I think that I could see Sergey Pavlovich beating anyone not in the top, not ranked above him, to be honest. Maybe Almeida could. I don't know what will happen if Almeida can get him down on the ground. I don't know what Pavlovich's defensive grappling would be like, but outside of them, like who could you really see like beating Pavlovich? Like Pavlovich is still a monster.
Yeah.
Like he still has that crazy power. He will have that power forever. We know that power is the last thing to go. So like I think that like I think he has another title push in him, you know. I don't see him
Yeah.
outstriking a Cyril Gane. If you can't outstrike Volkov, you can't outstrike Cyril Gane, bro.
Yeah.
But I think for everyone else, like he could spark two people and be right back in the mix for a title shot.
Okay, guys. One last thing in our video. I want you guys to make me a matchup, a super fight between one guy from each division, but it can't be a champion because that it'd be too easy. Give me a fun little fight in the middle between two contenders.
Ooh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, I would go. Oh fuck, can I? Well, you said not a champion because I would definitely
Yeah, no
like,
champions.
be against some of these fucking heavyweights. But like Alex Pereira, Cyril Gane kickboxing fight. Boom, boom. Like
That'd be crazy.
that's slightly against the rules, but fuck. Like I just have to put that one out there,
No,
right?
yeah, that'd be insane.
Fight guys, right? UFC tap in, but um, non-champions. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Jamal Hill versus like a fucking Volkov. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be crazy.
I feel like Volkov, his build is like kind of like light heavyweight-ish. He's just like pretty slender, thin. I don't think he doesn't have the crazy power, so I don't think that like I think that a lot of these light heavyweights could like bang with him and like not be in too much of a knockout like threat. I feel like that would be a nice little fun technical fight.
Yuri versus Pavlovich.
That's what I was thinking. That'd be insane.
That would be insane. Yuri might get knocked the fuck out
Yeah,
though.
you might get sloughed bad. I
And
was
then
thinking, see, I was thinking that Clark, but I was like, damn, that might be too much for Yuri. What about Yuri versus like Derek Lewis? That'd be such a meme fight.
That'd be so fucked up. I don't need to see that. Oh, I feel like okay. Here's one. Ankalaev Almeida, bro. Almeida's gonna make him grapple, bro. He's gonna
That'd be
make.
wild.
Hey, I need to see it, bro. I need to see like the full extent of his grappling when he's just forced to use it, bro. Because now I'm not talking about a panic takedown because your legs are getting chewed up. I'm talking about like Almeida's gonna get on that ass in the grappling, and like you have to just see what you got, man. I really want to see like the full package of his grappling, you know?
Yeah.
I think Almeida would really test that. So that's the fantasy matchup I would really make. I would love to see that.
All right. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we wrap it up?
I'm gonna recap this real quick. For the love of God, Uncle Life, Russell and your fucking fight with Pereira, bro. Change your
Yeah.
life. Save your family, bro. Change your family's life, bro. Become a legend, bro. Please.
Don't be a Jamal Hill.
Don't be a Jamal Hill, please.
Don't
Like,
be a come on. Let's
don't
have
be
some
a,
IQ.
anyone else that has fought this man.
You're
Like,
fucking Russian, dude.
please be a fucking
Fulfill your destiny and wrestle fuck him.
be a Ev, bro. Evs are the distant cousins of the Obs, bro. The slightly less talented cousins of the Ovs. Like he's an Ev. Like, come on, bro. That should be
Yeah,
enough to grapple fuck Pereira.
for sure. All right. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this series. Let us know which ones you want to see us do next. Please check out the TikTok and the shorts. And thank you for giving us your time of the day. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.